Been a wild week in the world of journalism. There are huge changes on the horizon at the largest news organization here in the upper Midwest. Last night, the Star Tribune announced that 15% of its staff will be laid off as the company explores a new ownership model in the future. Here's Danny.
The Minnesota Star Tribune's headquarters in downtown Minneapolis were quiet Wednesday after management announced that the company would lay off roughly 65 out of 500 employees. The decision comes just a month after the Star Tribune won a Pulitzer for its coverage of the Annunciation shooting.
Last week, we had champagne and a Pulitzer party, and this week we have tears and layoffs.
Rohan Preston co-chairs the Star Tribune Newspaper Guild, a union representing some of the workers. The layoffs don't include reporters or photographers, but they do impact other newsroom staff.
We're all gutted by this news.
In a memo to staff, publisher Steve Grove called the layoffs difficult. But with the majority of the company's revenue now coming from digital sources rather than traditional print, he said the restructuring is necessary to position us for growth as a digital media company.
We understand the company's goal to want to right size and be a digital company. We just think that there's probably a better way to do it.
Unlike other struggling papers across the country, the Star Tribune has been somewhat insulated from industry trends over the last decade because of the ownership of billionaire Glenn Taylor. But Grove says the company is now exploring a new model in which a foundation would take over ownership of the Star Tribune to allow more donations and philanthropic support to help fuel the company.
I've seen that before, but not often, and not here.
Scott Libben teaches journalism at the University of Minnesota. He's constantly talking with his students about the existential threats posed to legacy media by AI, social media, and declining ad revenue.
They're smart, they're attentive. They wouldn't be taking journalism courses if they didn't think this mattered. But I don't have the answers for them yet.
The Star Tribune's nonprofit foundation model would be a drastic change, but it's a strategy that other legacy papers have tried, most notably the Philadelphia Inquirer, which has returned to profitability a decade after a nonprofit took over.
It sounds good. You know, I mean, we want to be viable. We want to be here. We support the goals that have been expressed by our leadership and management. We want the paper to succeed.
Danny Spiewak, KARE 11 News.
The Star Tribune has not given any kind of timetable on this new foundation kind of structure, but the publisher, Steve Grove, has said the company will work with the board and Glenn Taylor in as soon as the coming months to explore this possibility.